श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति. So yesterday we saw yavat sanjayate kinchit sattam sthavara jangamam kshetra kshetrajna sanyoga tadvidhi he bharatarshava. Oh, Sion of Bharata, understand this. Whatever is created, whatever gets existence, gains existence in this world, like the trees, the animate and inanimate objects like the trees, etc., and the animals, etc., they are born because of kshetra kshetrajna sanyoga, because of the association between the kshetra and the kshetrajna, between the field and the player, between the ignorance and the self. Okay, now evam samsaram avidyatmakam uktva तन्निवर्तक विद्याकथनाय य एवं वेति पुरुषमिति प्रागुक्तं विवृणोति. एवं संसारम् अविद्यात्मकम् उक्त्वा, after establishing that the samsara is because of the ignorance. Avidyatmakam, because it means it is something which is big, which gains existence because of ignorance, which is of the nature of avidya. Tan nivartaka vidya kathanaya, to establish the means to get rid of that avidya, samsara, ya evam veti purusham iti praguktam. That which was said, ya evam purusham iti. See, he is explaining one shloka in bits and pieces. Each part he takes it and gives a commentary to that. So now he is taking the next part, ya evam veti purusha, one who knows this purusha. That is what is going to be explained here. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatso vinashyantam yah pasyati sapashyati. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsu avinashyantam yah pasyati sapashyati. Beautiful. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu. Samam, equanimity. Sarveshu bhuteshu, in all the beings. Tishtantam parameshwaram, the one who exists, that Parameshwara, the self. Vinashyatsu avinashyantam, as the one who exists in all the destructible as non-destructed, as undestructed, as the one who is eternal. Avinashyantam, eternal. Yapashyati sapashyati, one who sees that is the one who sees the reality. Meaning, in all which undergoes decay, death, destruction, that which does not undergo decay, death, destruction, that one which is equal in everything, which has equal existence in everything, one who sees that is the one who is the seer of the truth. Sarveshu bhuteshu. Sarveshu bhuteshu, that's the first word he is taking. Sarveshu bhuteshu means in all the beings, means bhavanadharmakeshu, that which has existence. Sthavara jangamatmikeshu, the animate and inanimate objects. Sthavara, inanimate, jangama, animate. Okay, objects. Pranishu, meaning again, what does that mean? Animate, inanimate means pranishu, in all the living beings. Aneka vidha janmadi parinamashīlataya, because of undergoing different kinds of transformation in different kinds of births. See, it is yesterday I said it is not like the Jains we accept that there is only growth in each birth. No, not as the other religion, Abrahamic religion people accept that there is only one birth and one death, over. So we don't believe that. We accept the rebirth according to our karma. Shubha Shubha Karmasu. So sadasat yonishu, good, bad, etc., you will be born according to your karma. Now, parinamashīlataya guna pradhana bhavapatya. Guna pradhana bhavapatya means according to the karmas you have performed, the karmas which takes predominance, the attribute of the gunas, attributes of sattva, rajas, tamas, of the prakriti. So according to that, because if you have the sattva's predominant attribute, then you will be born in the world of deities. If the tamas is the predominant, you will be born as animals and the animal or plants, trees, etc. If you have mixed sattva and if you have mixed punya and papa, then you will be born in the rajasic as a rajasic being, the human being. And there are gradations. We saw this. So cha vishameshu, this is the difference, this is the gradation. It is not sama. Sama means equanimity. Na sama visama. Visama becomes vishama, means bigata sama, where there is devoid of equanimity, there is devoid of that equalness, that ata'eva. Because of that, if there is no equanimity, when there is no equalness, then what happens there? Chanchaleshu, there will be turbulence, there will be changes. So pratikshana parinamina. What is the turbulence? What do you mean by the turbulence? Sanchala means, he says pratikshana parinamina. Every moment it undergoes change, transformation. He bhavaha na apirinamya kshanamapi statum ishate. So every existence, whatever exists here, they undergo transformation every moment, every second. They cannot exist without change. Like I said, the great philosopher Hercules said, this is what he also said. The running water, the same person cannot stand in for 2 seconds. Meaning either the water changes or the person changes. So here, षणमपि न अपिरिणम्य क्षणमपि स्थातुं न ईशत्. He cannot stay without change, any being. So अतएव, the science also says that every second you have hundreds of dead cells in your body, meaning you are changing. So अतएव, for this very reason, paraspara badhya badaka bhava panneshu, there is a badhya badaka state, meaning a negated and negator state. Mean this gets negated, the other becomes negator. Meaning the previous second becomes negated and the next second becomes negator. Then again the next second becomes previous second, it becomes negated, and the next second to that becomes a negator. So there is always this process of negator and negation. So bhava panneshu evapi vinashyatsu, meaning they get destroyed every second. That's the idea. Drishta nashta svabheshu. Drishta nashta svabha means while you perceive it at that very moment, it gets destroyed. In front of your eyes, it gets destroyed. We saw different examples. Like a person, just now I met him. You say, and he is no more. He is no more. Or day after tomorrow, you can see this beautiful state in Noida, where they are going to blast 2 buildings, twin towers. And they have set all the bombs, etc. Just one button is needed, and everything is going to be in front of your eyes. See, so long it took to build that building. Now, in flash, it's going to be space, empty space there. So, ata'eva maya gandharva nagaradi prayeshu. Like the magical Gandharva Nagara. Gandharva Nagara means Gandharva, celestial. Nagara means a state, a celestial state or celestial place or celestial town, etc. But it is not like that. Castle in the sky, what you refer to as castle in the sky, that is what it is. We have an example, beautiful example. There are 2 fellows. One is a son of Vantya Putra, we call. One is son of a barren woman, and the other is a Sthanu Purusha, a person seen in the post, a pillar man. So pillar man and barren woman's son, they both are friends. They, after dressing themselves up with this flower of akasha Okay, the lotus of sky, the sky lotus, meaning something which does not exist. So the sky lotus, with that they decorate themselves. They go to this Gandharva Patna. Gandharva Patna or Gandharva Nagara does not really matter. They are all same things, synonyms. So they go to this celestial town. So there, the castle in the sky. Okay, let us say it's castle in the sky. There they see a shop which sells a mother of pearl silver. They bargain. During the bargaining, these two fellows, they have some misunderstanding. That one gets enraged and kills the other with a mare's horn. The one who is alive, the other fellow is killed. The one who is alive, he is bitten by a rope stake. He also dies. They both become ghosts. Now, the story is very beautiful. You all understood the story, but in reality, you should not have understood anything here. Why? Because none of them is true. Barren woman's son, no one can see a barren woman's son. Or a sthanu purusha, a pillar person. No way. They don't exist. The decoration which they had, the sky lotus, that does not exist. The castle in the sky, that does not exist. The mother of pearl silver does not exist. The rope snake does not exist. The mare's horn does not exist. They become ghost, does not exist. So nothing here is real, but the idea is game. Oh, similarly, here samam sarvatra ekarupam pratideham ekam janmadi parinama shunyataya cha tishtantam. Samam means equal. Equal means sarvatra, in every place. Ekam pratideham means ekarupam, in every place, without any transformation, without any change. In every body, he sees the same self without any change, meaning without that undergoing any transformation of existence. Different kinds of existence, which was said in Yaska, Jayate Asti, etc. So without that exists without any transformation, that self. Sarvatra ekarupam pratideham ekam janmadi parinama shunyataya tishtantam. Aparinamamanam, that which does not undergo any transformation. Parameshwaram, who? That absolute self, that Parameshwara. Sarva jada varga satta spurti pradatvena, who gives existence to every inert object here. Existence and experiencership. An inert object cannot have both. Inert object is given existence and the experience also. When you experience an inert object, that experience cannot be there in the object itself. It is because of the experiencership which is endowed by the self there to it. So, spurti pradatvena badhyavadaka bhava shunyam. And this Parameshwara is devoid of the negator relationship. There is none to negate Parameshwara, the self. Sarva dosha anaskanditam. He is devoid of any association with any defects. Avinashyantam. He does not get destroyed. Drishtanashta praya sarvadvaita badhe api abaditam. Meaning, he does not get destroyed means, though whatever objects you see in this world, the objects which are produced by Maya, they have the general nature of getting destroyed at the very moment you see, at the very place you see. They don't have existence. So, but this, even if the other objects get destroyed, this one, even if all the other objects gets destroyed, the whole creation gets destroyed, this one remains indestructible. That's self. Evam sarvaprakarena jada prapancha vilakshanam atmanam vivekena yah shastra chakshusha pashyati. In this way, sarvaprakarena, in every which type, jada prapancha vilakshanam, that which is different from the inert world, inert creation, this self, one who sees is through discrimination. What kind of discrimination? It is not the discrimination which is gained through the worldly knowledge, but shastra drishtya pashyate, to the shastra. No other knowledge can negate this ignorance other than the shastric knowledge. Sir, evam pashyate, only he sees this. Atmanam jagrat bodhena swapna braham vadamana eva. Like we negate the dream state once we get into the waking state. We don't have to do anything. Once we wake up, we say, oh, that was a dream. We realize that it is a dream. Similarly, when you go to the real waking state, you understand this waking state, Turiya state we call it, we understand this waking state to be illusory. They don't have any existence. That is why it is said, Drishta Nashta Subhava. That very moment, in that very place, in that very object, that very object gets destroyed. Oh. What is this blabbering? Drishta Nashta Subhava. I don't see anything getting destroyed anywhere, disappearing in front of my eyes. No, does not happen. Let us explain. You see the rope snake. You saw the snake. Then I bring in a torchlight and I show that object to you. And when I illumine that object, you understand that it's just a rope and it is not a snake. That snake which you perceived, which you experienced, because of which you have all the fear, etc., all that get destroyed, removed in that very moment, in that very place, in that very object, with reference to that very object. So that is what is Drishta Nashta Subhava. The very place, the very object gets destroyed at that very moment. So, Jagrata Bodhina. Agyastu Swapnadarshīva Bhrantiya Vipreetam Pashyanna Pashyatyeva. But the ignorant one, because of the ignorance, erroneous knowledge, like the one who in the dream state, he does not want one who has not come out of the dream state, sees everything to be real. Similarly, this fellow who does not have the real knowledge of the self, the substratum, sees everything to be real. Adarshnaatmakatvad brahmasya. How can that be? Like, what is there on my hand? I say, do you see there is absence of pot in my hand? Do you see absence of pot in my hand? Yes, there is absence of pot. Did you see? Yes. You cannot say yes, because how can you see something which is non-existential, which does not have any existence? No one can say, I saw something which does not exist. You say, I saw the absence of pot. That is because you have seen the substratum and you have imagined that there is absence of that object, whatever we are talking about. So similarly, adarshnaatmakva brahmasya, the erroneous knowledge is of the state nature of absence. Therefore, pashyan na pashyati. Though he sees, he does not see. Though he sees, he does not see. You see the absence of pot, you don't really see that. So, nahi rajjum sarpataya pashyan. So, okay, that is an example. I didn't understand it. I'll bring it to the exemplified. Another example. Nahi rajjum sarpataya pashyan pashyati iti vyapadishyate. Rajju darshnatmakatvat sarpadarshnasya. Rajju adarshnaatmakatvat sarpa. Nahi rajjum sarpataya pashyan. I see the snake in the rope. I see the rope as snake. Let us put it like this. I see the rope as snake. When I see the rope as snake, I cannot say I see the snake. When I see the rope as snake, I cannot claim to see the snake. Why? Because the snake which you see is because of absence of seeing the substratum, the rope. Because you are not seeing the rope, you are seeing the snake. Therefore, you cannot say, I see the snake. Evam bhuta anya anuparakta shuddhatma darshanat tad adarashanatmikayaha avidyayaha nivrittihi. Therefore, if you see the absolute self, through the absolute self, through the knowledge of the absolute self, this ignorance, this erroneous knowledge gets negated, annihilated. Tataha, therefore, tat karya samsara nivrittihi iti vipraya. And when the material cause is destroyed, there can be no option other than the creation also from that material cause to be destroyed. When the material cause is destroyed, the effect of that material cause should also be destroyed at that very moment. The material cost is destroyed, but the effect remains. It is not possible anywhere. I destroyed the clay, then it means the pot with which the clay, with this clay, the pot which is created with this clay also gets destroyed immediately. So, iti abhipraya. This is the idea. Atra atmanamiti avishesha atmanamiti vishesha lavah visheshana maryadaya. Atmanam. Oh, there is a special self. There is an adjectified self. This is just to say with reference to the adjectives. Otherwise, there is no adjective adjectified in the self. Parameshwaram ityeva va visheshyavadam. Atmanam or Parameshwaram does not really matter. That's the adjectified. That is with reference to the adjectives. Otherwise, there is no adjective adjectified relationship. That's the idea here. Vishamatva, chanchalatva. What is the idea? He is explaining. Vishamatva, chanchalatva, vadyavadakatva, lakshanam, jadarupam, vaishamyam, jadagatam, vaidharmyam, samatva, tishtatva, parameshwaratva, swarupatma, visheshana vashad, arthad, praptam, anyat, kanthoktam iti viveka. Visheshana, visheshya means adjectified. Where do you gain this adjectified? There is no adjectified actually. With reference to the adjectives, what is the adjective? The adjective is the one with the vishesh, the turbulence, the transformations. Then badhyavadakatva, that which is a negate in the relationship of negated and negator, and vishama, that which is not equivalent. This is the nature of inert. Inert is a non-equal. Inert is turbulent, and inert has the quality of being negated, having the relationship of negator and negator. So, vaidharmyam, contrary to this, if inert is of this state, contrary to this is the Parameshwara. That Parameshwara is if this is Vishama, that is Sama. If this is non-equivalent, that is equivalent. If this is Chanchala, turbulent, that is a non-turbulent. And if it has Badhyavadaka relationship, it does not have any. Tishtantam. Non-turbulence means tishtantam. It just stays without any change. And if that has Badhyavadaka relationship, negator relationship, this does not have anything because this is Parameshwara, this is self. So, with reference to those adjectives, you see the adjectified. The change is adjectified. This is as well said. We don't have to specify explicitly. Tadetat atmadarshanam phalena stauti ruchyutpate. This vision of the self is explained with, it is extolled with the result. It is explained with the result, meaning that result is extolled here. Why? Why should you extol the results, praise the result? Ruchi utpatte, for you to gain some interest to understand this. Let me say, what is the self? Self is with that, because what is samsara basically? Samsara is the association with the attributes, guna. That is samsara. Okay. What is self? Self is that which does not have samsara, means that which does not have any association with the attributes, gunas. So if guna is the nature of prakriti, self is nirguna, meaning without any association to these gunas. Meaning it has no qualities, attributes, etc. Meaning there is nothing of interest in self. It is tasteless, it is smellless, fragranceless, it is useless. Because whatever we see in this world, we relate only with these attributes. These attributes don't exist in the self, therefore the self becomes useless. How can something which does not have any attribute kindle an interest in you? It is impossible. Let us say again. How will it kindle the interest in you? Let us see how. What is samsara? Samsara is association with the attributes. What is the effect of samsara? Sorrow, pain, grief, trouble, all the negative qualities. So, do you still want to be in samsara? No. Do you still want to experience those pain, sorrow, etc.? No. Then what should you do? You should have to understand the self. Simple. That is what is the making you grow the taste for this self. So ruchi utpatti means grow to make you grow the taste for it. समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितम् ईश्वरं न हिनस्त्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्. समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र सम् अवस्थितम् ईश्वरं न हिनस्ति आत्मना आत्मानं ततः याति परां गतिम्. समं हि पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र, सर्वत्र समं हि पश्यन्, समं पश्यन् हि. Every place he sees the equanimity, only the equanimity. He sees the equanimity only, whichever way you see. Okay, some avasthitam Ishwaram. How? Some avasthitam, nicely established Ishvara, one who sees the changeless Ishvara in every place. Sarvatra, saptamyastral place. Okay, seventh case is a substratum. Adharo, adhishthanam, that's the sutra. So, substratum. So, with reference to that substratum, one who sees in every place the same non-changing, undivided self. Na hinastyatmana atmana, he does not destroy the self through the self. He does not destroy the self through the self. Remember this word. Na hinastyatmana atmanam tato yatim param gatim. Therefore, since he does not destroy the self through the self, he gains the absolute state. In Vekachudamni, Bhagavan Bhashyakara says there, Atmagno Uchyate, he is referred to as Atmagna. Atmanam Hanti iti Atmagna means the slayer of the self, the destroyer of the self. He does not become one who gives up the association with the gunas. He becomes the non-slayer of the self. One who is attached to these gunas becomes the destroyer of the self. That is the idea. Sam avasthitam. Sam avasthitam means janmadi vinashantam, vinashanta bhavikara shunyataya. Sam avasthitam. Sam avasthitam. It is equal. Equal means like the janmadi bhavikara, the different transformations like jayate, asti, vardhate, viparanamate, apakshiyate, vinashyate. The 6 transformations of a existence. Devoid of that is samavasthitam. Transformations means change. Change, that which is changeless is samavasthitam. Samyaktaya avasthitam iti avinashitvam labha. So it is established nicely means it does not get destroyed. It is eternal. That's the idea. Anyat pragyakyatin. The rest was explained in the previous shloka itself. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram. And here samam sarveshu bhuteshu dushtantam maheshwaram. Same. So here Ishvara, there Maheshwara, Parameshwara. That's the difference. Evam, in this way. Purokta visheshanam atmanam pashyan. With this adjective, this self one who sees, this kind of self one who sees. How does he see? I am, aham, asmi iti shastra dashtya through the vision of Shastra that this is me, this is I. It is not different from me. Sakshat Kurvan, gaining the immediate knowledge of the self. Nainastyatmana atmana, he does not destroy the Atma with his Atma. He does not trouble his self with his own self. How does one trouble one's own self with one's own self? Sarvohi Agnaha. So he explains that all the ignorant people, Agnaha, the ignorant people, Paramartha Santam Ekam Akartra Abhoktra Paramananda Swarupam Atmanam. What is Atma? Atma is that which is absolute bliss, which is not the doer, which is not the experiencer, which is a one non-dual, which is the absolute existence, which is the absolute reality. That self, avidyaya, because of the ignorance, Avidyaya sati, because of the ignorance, when the ignorance exists, bhatyapi, though it shines, it is self-effulgent, it shines. Vastuni, in this object in which it shines, na bhati nasti iti pratiti janakam. It does not exist, it does not shine. This kind of idea he gains. Though it is the only thing which has existence under effulgence, but still he does not see its existence or its effulgence. Therefore, asamarthaya. Why? That is because of incapability, because of the ignorance. Therefore, swayam eva tiraskurvan. Therefore, he himself negates the existence of self. He, being the very self, negates himself. Asantam eva karoti, makes it as though it does not have existence. Asan eva sabhavati. That is what really the Taittiriya Upanishads, he becomes non-existent. The one who says the self is non-existence really becomes non-existent. Iti hinastyevatam. So that is the fellow who does not accept the existence and the effulgence of the self, though it shines and it has existence everywhere. He is the one who is troubling the self. Atha, similarly, avidyaya atmatvena parigrahitam dehendriya sanghatam, the body sense organ complex which is accepted to be the self because of the ignorance, atmanam puratanam hatva. Because of that knowledge, which is erroneous knowledge, accepting the body sense organ complex to be the self, he is negating the real self which is eternal. Therefore, he gains new body sense organ complex. Navamadatte. He destroys that and gains new one. Karma vasha, because according to his karma. Iti hinastevata. Therefore, he is definitely the negator, destroyer of the self. Ataha ubhayatha api atmahataiva sarvopi ajna. Therefore, there is no doubt that in both ways that this fellow is whether he does not accept the existence and effulgence of the self in all the objects, or whether he does not accept the real self but accepting the body sense organ self complex to be the self, both ways he is the slayer of the self, he is destroyer of the self. Therefore, yam adhikrutya iyam shakuntala vachana rupa smriti. As the statement from Shakuntala, probably in Shakuntala, this is what was said there. Kim tena nakratam papam chorena atmapaharina yo anyatha santamatmanam anyatha pratipadyate iti. Kim tena nakratam papam. What is the sin he has not done? Chorena atmapaharina, one who steals the self. This thief, one who steals the self, by him, what is the sin which is not committed? What is the sin he has not committed? What is the sin he has not committed? What is the sin not committed by this person? The person who steals the self. The thief who steals the self. Ye anyatha santam atmanam anyatha pratipadyate. What is the thief? What is the stealing here? He sees the Atma which exists as something else, as something other. He does not see the Atma as Atma, but something else as Atma. And he is not just seeing something else as Atma, he is seeing the Atma as something else. Both problems. So, Shrutischa, the Shruti also very clearly says beautifully, Asurya namate loka andhena tamasavruta stanste pratyavagachanti ekecha atmahanojanaha. Asurya namate loka andhena tamasa avruta tan te pratyavagachanti ekecha atmahanojanaha. Atmahanaha, atmahana, they are all same words. Atmana, the slayer of the destroyer of the killer of the self, the people who are the killers of the self, janaha, people who are killers of the self, te pratyabhiganchanti. After death, they gain there, they go there. Where? Tam, those worlds. What is the specialty of that world? Tamasa avrata, andhena tamasa avrata. It is engulfed by the blinding darkness. Andhena, blinding, tamasa, darkness. It is engulfed by the blinding darkness. Where Asurya Namaloka, the world which is called as Asurya. Asurya means something which is associated with the Asuras, which is associated with the Asuric qualities, the demonic qualities. Okay, so to those worlds, because demons means where there is predominance of a papa. So they will go to that world of papa, sins. Okay, Atmano Janaha. Asurya. Asurasya Subhuta Asurya Sampada Bhogya. Asurya means Asuras, the demons, one's own inherent nature, the demonic qualities. There they experience those demonic qualities, those demonic attributes. Atmana, who the killers of the self. Iti Anatmani Atma Bhimanina Ityartha. Who is this killer of the self? One who identifies the non-self as self. Anatmani Atma Drishtihi Avidya. Yoga Sutra. So, in the Anatma, he sees the Atma. That is what is Avidya. One who has the Avidya is the killer of the self. Okay? Anitya Shuchi, Dukkha, Anatmasu, Nitya Shuchi, Sukhatmakyatir, Avidya. That is exactly what is said here. Okay? Ataha, therefore, ya Atmajnaha. So, Anatmani, Atma Bhimanam Shuddhatma Darshanena Vazate. The one who has the knowledge of the self, what does he do? He negates the identification with the non-self through the pure knowledge of the self. Knowledge of the pure self. Whichever way. Therefore, Swarupa Labhaya Hinasti Atmana Atmanam Tato Yati Paramgati. Therefore, Swarupa Labha, gaining the Swarupa, gaining the inherent nature of himself, Na Hinasti, he does not destroy the self. Therefore, because of that, Tato Yatim Paramgati, he gains the absolute state, absolute self. Tataha Atma Hanana Abhavat Avidya Tatkari Nivritti Lakshana Muktim Adhigachati Ityartha. Therefore, because he is not destroying the self, because he has destroyed the ignorance and its effect, he gains the state of that destruction of ignorance along with its effect, meaning liberation. No, wait, there is another issue. Shubha Shubha Karmakartaraha Pratideham Minna. The people who do good and bad activities are different in each body. The same object, I am happy. Somebody is dead here, but I am happy, and somebody is not happy. Somebody is not interested. He is neither happy nor sad. So, with the same object, one person is happy, the other person is sorrow, the third person is not interested in anything. So, these different kinds of experience happen, and the happiness also, there is gradation in happiness. The sorrow also, there is gradation in sorrow. The disinterest also, there is gradation in disinterest. So, in this way, there are many people with many different experiences for the same thing. When this is so, Binna, Pratideham Binna, we have to accept the self to be different in every body. And Vishamascha Tattad Vichitra Falabhaututvena. And because they experience different kinds of enjoyments in the same, with reference to the same object, as we said. Iti, therefore, Katham Sarvabhutam Bhutastamat Ekamatmanam Samam Pashyat. How can you say that he sees one non-dual, non-different self in every being? Na hinasti atma. Therefore, he does not destroy the self. Iti uktam ata aha. Whatever you said, whatever was said, for that the answer is this. Prakrityaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashaha yah pashyati tatatmanam akartaram sa pashyati. Prakritim yanti cha bhutani nigraham kim karishyati. I told you that this is the Mahavakya I want you to remember. With reference to that, is saying here, प्रकृत्या एव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः यः पश्यति तथा आत्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति. प्रकृत्या एव क्रियमाणानि कर्माणि सर्वशः क्रियमाणानि कर्माणि. In every place, whatever karmas are performed, they are performed only by the prakriti. Prakrutya eva, only by the prakriti, only by the ignorance. Only by the ignorance. Tatha atmanam akartaram, and the self is a non-doer. Ya pashyati sapashyati, one who sees that all the activities are done by the ignorance and the self is a non-active, inactive, means it is not doer. Only he sees the right truth, the absolute truth. Ya pashyati sapashyati, one who sees what? Sees the reality, sees the truth. Karmani, karmas means vak mana kaya arambhani, arabhyani, the karmas which are performed through the body, mind and the sense organs. Sarvashah sarvai prakare, all kinds of karmas. Prakrutya eva dehendriya sanghata akara parinataya, only by the prakriti, only by the ignorance does all these activities. Through the transformation, as taking the transformation of body sense organ complex, it does. Sarva vikara karana bhutaya trunatmikaya, because it does of the nature of three qualities which undergoes all the transformations in these different, because of the gradations in these three qualities, it undergoes these different transformations. Bhagavan Maya. What is that? That is the power of Bhagavan. Maya is the power of Bhagavan. Vishnu Maya, Bhagavat Maya, etc. We said. Kriyamanani, they are performed only by that Maya. Those activities are performed only by that Maya, through that Maya. Natu Purushena, not by the self. Sarva vikara shunyena, because he is devoid of any kinds of transformation. Yo viveki pashyati, one who has this discrimination, this knowledge, one who sees this. Ekam kshetrena kriyamaneshu api, evam kshetreshu kriyamaneshu api karmasu atmanam kshetrajnam akartaram sarupadhi vivarjitam asangam ekam sarvatra samam yah pashyati. Meaning, what does viveki pashyati means? What does that? What do you want me to see? In this way, kshetrena kriyamaneshu api karmasu, though the karmas are performed by the kshetra, the field, the ignorance, kshetrajnam, the self, akartaram, he sees this akartara, non-doer, sarva upadhi vivarjitam, devoid of any kind of embodiment, asangam, non-associated, unassociated, ekam, one, non-dual, sarvatra samam pashyati, everywhere which is equal, it is equal, that which is equal everywhere, that which has equanimity in every place. Yah pashyati, one who sees this one non-dual self. Tatha shabdaha pashyati iti kriya akarshnaartha. Tatha, it is to bring in this verb there. Sa pashyati sa paramartha darshi iti purvata. He is the one who sees, means he is the one who is the seer of the reality, the absolute truth. Savikarasya kshetrasya, why should you say he is the only person who sees the truth? Because savikarasya kshetrasya tat vichitra karma karturtvena pratideham bhede api. Because of this kshetra, this ignorance, which is associated with every body sense organ, because the body sense organ complex is the transformation of this ignorance. Therefore, it does different activities in different embodiments. Though there is change, gradations in each of these activities, na nirvisheshasya akartru akashasya. There is no transformation, there is no change in the non-attributed self, like this space. Only the space associated with the pot, room, etc. have these limitation, but the space in itself does not have any limitation. With reference to the embodiment, you see the limitations. In reality, does not have any limitations. Therefore, na bhede pramanam kinchit, because there is no proof to establish the duality in the space or the duality in the self. Atmana iti upavaditam prak. This was established already. Either in the space or in the self, there is no proof valid means to establish that there is duality. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.